How's the camera looking, everybody? How's it all looking? Is everything looking fine? Hopefully, my angle. It looks kind of funny right now because possibly because I do have my phone and everything here plugged in a little bit, trying to make sure it doesn't run out of power. Anyways, hope that everybody is having a beautiful weekend. Hope that you're taking it easy. Always, like I say, having some good food, spending time with people or maybe things you care about. How you go about things. Ooh, fragrance life wise, got a bunch of things in the mail. Actually, I don't know if the UPS has been really slow for y'all. I've had something that's supposed to have been delivered about 4 days ago or so, and the seller on eBay has not responded. And the USPS has hicked up, because of what's going on in the world a couple times. So I guess when you're expecting your fragrances in the mail, definitely be ready to wait a little bit. It's gonna be funny because if you ever buy anything from Fragrance Net, it takes forever. As always, it used to take 3 months or so. Not 3 months, 3 weeks. It might feel like 3 months, but it takes a long time. I see one person's here. How are you doing? How's the fragrance life, and how's it going today? For me, um, I'm really looking forward to that V Conto fragrance that I bought. And I know that I need to put out some more my hauls. I have hauls, and I've been really active on Instagram. I've showed more of the things I've bought recently, and I have all those videos up. I have ready to upload for y'all, and that's what I've been kind of wanting to go through. I've been kind of curious. Do y'all want me to start doing multiple uploads a day? Maybe to get to more of my more normal content. I'm curious to see maybe if y'all want a bunch of videos really fast, because I can do it. I can really put out tons of content for y'all. I'm curious if that's the right thing to do, or maybe if YouTube doesn't like that in general, because y'all know that if y'all were here yesterday, that I've been putting out a video every day for a very long time, and this week I actually lost 5 subs. So I'm not sure what else I can do. I suppose I could put lots of editing into it. I don't think I'm gonna. I have to be true to myself. I'm not gonna be disauthentic. Try to put on a show. The things. There's some things that YouTubers can do, like, uh, do really crazy editing or change the pitch of their voice. Hey there, Joe-san. Happy to see you. And Rich Mitch, happy to see you. How's it going? You were telling me about that other lavender fragrance from Creed. I've had my eye on that one. I've been tempted to buy it. Maybe if you tell me more about it, maybe I might be settled on actually buying it. So, hello, Mr. Ben. I want to thank you for answering my questions. You are awesome, dude. Thank you, Bravius. I am here for you, my friend. I'm 100% here for you. So, I'm just curious. I don't know. Maybe y'all don't want to see a video every day. Maybe you want to see 3 videos a week. I did that for a while, and I actually got more viewership and more interaction. It seemed like people liked that pace a little bit more. But of course, y'all know that I'm a very hardworking person. I like to try to push things and make things work. I've always had a hardworking spirit. Always wanted to do my best. And I also I want to be on here every day and put out some amazing work for y'all. So I'm not sure if I should slow things down. I really don't want to have to spend hours of editing into a video, but maybe that's what people want. And my internet right now, it's ridiculous. Aberdeen lavender is quality stuff, not the usual Creed. That's what I was thinking. I was looking at it, and I don't know if it was if it's just because they produced it in the past. I'm pretty sure that one's not being produced anymore. It probably isn't, but it's not very talked about. It's almost never talked about. Almost never anybody hears about it. I wouldn't be amazed if it's, discontinued and just the supply hasn't dried up yet on the Aberdeen lavender. It's funny that they did have, some of those fancier looking bottles for like in Spice and Wood, and the Aberdeen and lavender. And there were a few like that. I'm not. Are those considered a different collection from Creed? I'm not even sure. And companies do funny things from time to time. So it's you gotta try to learn. So you're awesome, bruh. Thank you. I do appreciate that, Chavez. I do believe that we have a good thing going. We're a strong family. I'm not about to jump up and pack my bags and quit. I'm a person who, just like after a breakup, I want to know maybe what I could have done better, and maybe what are the differences between us two. Why did those 5 subscribers leave? Just 5 subscribers doesn't matter very much. It's a very insignificant thing. What I look at is, maybe I'm not satisfying people enough, and maybe, my content isn't what people want. I know what's really trendy. The top tens, the tag videos, and the haul videos are what's very trendy. But I do find it kind of funny that sometimes people do take my ideas. And I don't want to really mention who these people are, but they know who they are. And I guess we all influence each other one way or another, but I've never been the person to go and look at another channel or a bigger channel and look at their videos and say, hey, that was a video that got a lot of views, and take their ideas, or they mention something and, take that idea from them and not give them, a mention or credit. I'm very creative, and almost everything I've ever done on my channel is my own idea. And I'm sure that people have done my ideas one way or another. I started doing my monthly fragrance videos. Fragrances I wore that month. And even though that's an original idea, it kind of is a twist on, I'm not sure who truly started it, but Big Beard Business, as far as I know, is the one who started the weekly fragrance rotation. So, that's... I don't know. I think that's funny business. I don't want to say who it is, but if y'all know in the fragrance community, I was talking about Mori for him as a long-lasting, solid summer fragrance that some people love it, some people don't like the quality. I don't want to consider myself a snob. I wear lots of designers. I like lots of designer fragrances, and I talk about affordable fragrances. I've spoken really highly, and I enjoy Guess Seductive Noir, and a number of fragrances. My Tommy Bahamas. Some people even don't like John Varvatos, and some people actually criticize Mansara fragrances. But a fragrance reviewer, and I'm 99% positive, I spoke and talked about Hane Mori for him, and they put out a video about it. It's like, okay, the world's funny. Anyways, back to your comments. Richmond says warm and fuzzy. Yes, that lavender fragrance, that sounds nice. Compared to Royal Scotch Lavender, I'm not sure how you felt about it. It was more of maybe a dry fragrance, and it's kind of hard to describe. It felt more cool, more collective, more calm. So this one is more warm and fuzzy, maybe amber-ish, amber-like. Making sense. Hey, how you doing? Happy to see you, my friend. How's it going? It's the Spice and Woods. The Spice and Woods is a different collection, most expensive. The Asian green tea and the Aberdeen lavender is the cheapest of the line. Okay, I didn't know they had a more cheaper line. Do you think the Asian green tea is any good? And what's the performance on the Aberdeen lavender? It's funny that I kind of have the impression that their cheaper line is almost better than their regular line. I don't know why I think that, but I kind of get that impression. Because they're more of like, even though they're single note fragrances, they almost have more, some of them might not be that complex, but Asian green tea to me is almost more creative than, I don't know, some of their fragrances, like Original Vetiver and Original Santal especially. Let's see. You are a trendsetter, Ben, if people use your ideas. Oh, they do. And I don't get mentioned for it. I'm very creative. I've spoken about lots of ideas. It's the old thing, like, keep your cards to your chest, and I'm a very open person, and I've always, I guess, done that through my life, and people take opportunity. I'll put out all kinds of creative ideas, and I speak to y'all openly to give y'all information, and people sometimes will run with my ideas, and nothing's wrong with that, I guess, but I do wish that if people do that, and that they would give credit. I always try to give credit. So don't think they got the ambergris. Okay, so the cheaper line doesn't have the ambergris. I don't know how you feel about Creed, Rich Mitch, but I feel like a lot of their fragrances recently don't really, the 2020 versions don't really have much of the ambergris. I know that Millésime Impérial has a good amount of it. I felt like maybe that was one of the fragrances that had some of the strongest amount of the ambergris. I don't feel like Aventus has much of any of it. Aventus Cologne, they wrote an article about it where they were kind of trying to soften the blow, and they told everybody beforehand, so there wasn't a shock factor and people didn't get upset about it. but I tried to get the word out, and for some reason, a lot of fragrance reviewers, and maybe some people just didn't care, but Aventus Cologne didn't have the ambergris, which to me was a big deal. Yeah, their white ambergris to me is what makes Creed a fancy Creed fragrance. So, new subscriber here, and I appreciate your content. It's so refreshing. I'm happy that you like it, Stephanie. Dimming, happy that you enjoy it. Thank you for stopping by. Are you from Instagram, perhaps? I'm not sure, but if you are, welcome. I am. Instagram seems to be a better place for me and my personality, my environment. And actually, I used to write out full-length reviews, like with actual text and with a picture, and make a really nice picture. And I need to just maybe start doing that more on Instagram, because I was doing that, and I'm growing fairly decently now, not super fast, but for a little while when I was doing that, again, somebody's gonna do. People already know to do this on Instagram. There's more of a culture of like written articles, and I was blowing up. There was for a while I was blowing up fast. So, anyways, thank you. I'm happy that you were able to find me. What was it, Stephanie? What video did you find me on? And was it helpful? I'm happy, and certainly hope that it helped you a lot. Let's see, hi Jam, Stephanie and Rich. Yes, making sense. Happy to see you. Wonderful channel you got there. Happy to see you. Rich Mitch says the 5 subs that could have been inactive accounts removed from YouTube. Happens a lot. Well, that's certainly true. But it also shows that either YouTube isn't showing me, or people weren't enjoying my content enough to, have more than 5 in a week actually subs. So not only did I not gain 5 enough to equal things out, or whatever the number really was, but I didn't gain any. And I know that subs don't matter that much, but some people would look at that as an indication of your channel and say, you need to switch things up. You need to do something different. So I'm not sure. I gotta figure that out. I gotta wrap my head around that. So, Jam was Jim. He was jamming. Yeah. Jam was GM. Okay. Macon. Aberdeen lavender lasts 6 hours. Okay. The really awesome thing is sometimes you can find that at the right places. Let me know if you know a good place. I've seen that as low as like $90-ish for that Aberdeen lavender. For Creed, I know it's their cheaper line, but that sounds really good. And I do like a good lavender fragrance. I don't have a lot of them in my collection. There's one from a indie brand called Unda Priska, and I might have to give them my money because the lady's wonderful. She's an upcoming company. I really like her fragrance, but I am tempted. I do want to have a Creed in my collection. I show y'all Creeds. I'm very open. I'm too open. I'm very transparent about what I get for free and samples, everything. I'm very transparent. I'm even transparent if, I reviewed, a fragrance from 1 mil. But y'all know, and I think I've told y'all before that some of the fragrances I share with y'all are from my dad's collection, and he sometimes flips things or invests in fragrances, and sometimes he's a big Creed fan, so sometimes he won't even intentionally be trying to flip the fragrance. He blind buys it and hopes that he'll enjoy it. And sometimes there's people out there, these fragrances, these vaulted Creeds are getting rarer and rarer, and sometimes he makes a pretty penny on them. So, Green Valley is wonderful. I really think that was better than Green Irish Tweed in my personal opinion. And that sells for a lot of money. It really does. It's getting crazy, and y'all know how expensive the Aventus is. And because, in my opinion, and maybe in my opinion, to a lot of other fragrance reviewers, not fragrance reviewers, fragrance lovers, the new 2020 Creed Aventus isn't great, and really the 19 or even the 18 isn't very particularly good. So the older batches of Aventus are even getting more and more expensive. So, yeah, if you think that you could get your favorite batch of a 2014 or 15 or 16 at a reasonable price, and if you do have to have a backup bottle or have to have a smoky batch, a 2013 or a 2014, you have to buy it now because it's already out of hand and it's just going to get crazier. Let's see here. They're not cheap. They're just cheaper. Yeah, that's true. You're exactly right, Rich Mitch. Boise de Portugal has an amazing lavender. I do like Boise de Portugal. I think that's one of Creed's more strong and dependable fragrances from their line. I do think it comes off maybe more mature, but anybody, of course, can wear anything. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with wearing it, but I really like it. I used to have Kaleidoscope by Daniel Hosier, which I feel like had some similarities. I ended up selling that one. I really did like the Kaleidoscope. I really did like it, but I just have some other fragrances I feel like they're more minty, or they're more like a green tea fragrances. And I bought Jungle, the vintage bottle of Jungle by Kenzo. I forgot which one of y'all in here suggested that to me, and I'd been tempted by it for a while, but you suggested it, and I didn't know how affordable, at least for right now, at least this year, or you know maybe, who knows, maybe a few people will hear it right now and they'll buy out the last few vintage bottles of Jungle. But I got mine for about $50 for a full size bottle of the vintage bottle of Jungle's by Kenzo. And I know that's not for everybody, but I really like it. I really, really like it. If anybody out there likes Elephant by Zoologist, if you want like something that's, I don't know, like imagine a designer version of Elephant by Kenzo. Imagine if a designer fragrance company decided to make a more mass appealing, easy to wear version of Elephant. That's what you would have on your hands, and I like it, and I like the performance. I love the smell of Kenzo Jungle. So let's see here. Indecence is in the house. Happy to see you, my friend. I also love your work and everything you do. Stefan says, I'm on Instagram, saw that you had a channel, and so I came over and subscribed. Thank you, Stephanie. I really do appreciate that. How have things been going for you in your fragrance life and fragrance wise? Stephanie Deming, you'll never be disappointed with Ben. Well, that's very encouraging. Thank you. And yes, I definitely put a lot of work out there. If you you'll never see me disappear for 2 weeks or make, at least in my opinion, a video that's not at least decently thorough. And I'm always learning and trying to research about fragrance. And there's so much to learn out there, and I always try to share with y'all what I know and what I found. So, there's a lot of videos out there, and you might think it's just a review of such and such fragrance, but I'll share with y'all a little bit of history, or something to do with the composition, or something interesting regarding the notes that you might have never known before regarding the fragrances. And there's a lot that goes into all these fragrances, and there's a lot of details that I don't even know of. And I've mentioned here and there sometimes colors regarding fragrances, and I don't even do that all the time because people think you're weird sometimes, or loopy. But sometimes I can smell a fragrance and I can think of a color regarding that, and maybe that doesn't mean anything to some of y'all. I don't see colors in my mind. Some people supposedly can smell a fragrance, but sometimes I smell a fragrance, like, of course, lavender's purple, aquatics are blue. A lot of florals can be white or red or yellow, those kinds of things. But sometimes when you smell fragrance, obviously there's blue shampoo fragrances like Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, but you can sometimes smell other fragrances, and sometimes with the energy or the personality of the fragrance. I don't know, I'm not into that aura stuff, but almost like that. Almost like you give the fragrance an aura, like, what's its color, what's its personality. So, I mean, I could do more of that, but that people probably think that's wacky. So, evening scent of the day is Banana Republic Neroli Wood. That's a solid neroli fragrance. That one, and what is it? The one by Ferrari, Bright Neroli. Those are probably the best two designer nerolis on the price on the market right now. So, solid neroli fragrance. I kind of grew a little bit out of love with it, honestly, but I need to show you all a haul. I got a bunch of whole new Banana Republic fragrances, and they're kind of growing on me. I'm kind of liking them. I'm surprised how much I actually like them. So, Banana Republic is kind of like Ferrari for right now. Ferrari, as far as I know, is not going to make any new fragrances. From what I've heard, they're not going to make any new lines, and maybe at least for a year. Maybe they'll come back eventually, but it seems like they're not going to come back. I think their Essence line did fairly well, but I think they put a lot more work into it. I think that comes through. I think their Essence line is fantastic. As far as Ferrari fragrances go, it's a big step up, and the affordability of them is pretty solid. People are going to criticize and maybe want, of course, a little bit more longevity here and there. They're not perfect, but they're Ferrari, and they're solid for the 20, maybe even the $30 range. Some of them are pretty darn good. So But you know, kind of now where a lot of the Ferraris are drying up, they're kind of some of them are getting harder to get or more expensive. I think the Banana Republics and of course the solid and dependable Tommy Bahamas. If y'all are on the search for something really affordable, something really solid for the money. Um, Anyways, so Aberdeen lavender for $90. Tear their arms off. Does that mean it's worth it? Does that mean let's go crazy for it? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I am an old Star Wars fan, so I know that you're supposed to let the Wookiee win, but I'm not sure what you mean by that. Green Valley, yes, would love Green Valley. It was one of Creed's best. I personally think it's better than Green Irish Tweed, and I don't know why they discontinued it. Maybe it was too expensive to make. Maybe Green Irish Tweed was selling a little bit better. Maybe it was because everybody in the fragrance community back in the day, I mean way back in the day, everybody seemed to love Green Irish Tweed more than just about any Creed fragrance. So it's funny. I didn't even have a Creed fragrance. I didn't even know what Creed was when I first got into fragrances. At that time, I probably could have got Royal Scotch Lavender, like I showed y'all today, for a really affordable price. And again, that's my dad's bottle. But I would have been talking about Royal Scottish Lavender, and I would have liked it more than Green Irish Tweed. But we're all different people, so everybody's different. And Decent says, "Nice, Ronald." Bitcoin is going up. Cash in a while you still can. Oh, cash up it. Yeah, I should invest in. I really don't have much to invest. I'm trying more to invest in companies and ways to make the money. I know that investing with the money you have is smart. Inflation. This is a fragrance channel, but I'm sure that y'all know that because of how much money. This is one reason YouTube isn't letting my channel grow. I don't know what's going on truly, but I'm sure that y'all know that money wise, if you and your family is struggling and always struggled, I definitely want you to be able to be more secure. So if you can, do invest. If you do have money in land, if you do have that money, be able to pull something together, into something that will actually hold value and actually be able to possibly even, give you money, a return on your investment. Money, I don't know at what point the egg is going to crack a little bit, but we're suppressing, the interest rates, and we're also kind of keeping down inflation. We're printing out and giving out money like nobody's business. And inflation is something they don't truly teach or emphasize in school. But my grandpa is not lying. My grandpa can still remember the day when he could buy a combo meal at McDonald's for a quarter. And that's not a joke. He's not exaggerating. And inflation has always been a thing. And every 5 to 10 years, things can get as extreme in the USA, depending on what time frame or what decade we're looking at. 25 or 50%, your money could be, lose that much value. And that's one reason, my parents are getting a little bit older, and sometimes if they go to a car mechanic, or if they buy anything, they're almost like scared to buy, or annoyed to buy anything, because they can remember when a loaf of bread was $1, or $1.25 or $1.50, and now if you want a good high quality loaf of bread, it'll cost you $3 or $3.50. If you live if they travel anywhere, go to a big city like New York or something, you might have, even if it's a regular loaf of bread, it's it's not even artisan or handmade or anything. You might have to pay five, because of how expensive things are. So I definitely would be aware of that. I know I know that a lot of us as fragrance enthusiasts probably look at our collections as assets, and they certainly can be, especially if your fragrances get discontinued. For some reason, I was tempted to look at Mugler's Pure Tonka again today. I've really liked that fragrance. I've always kind of wanted to have a backup bottle. I know that I should have bought myself a backup bottle when they were about $60 a piece. But I'll be fine. There's plenty of new fragrances to find. But I'm just always curious about, is the price really going to go crazy? And Mugler's Pure Tonka isn't really hyped. It's actually one of the least popular from the line. And there's only like 2 bottles on eBay right now. One is 95% used, and somebody is supposedly importing them from Australia or something, and they're both about 90 bucks. And then anybody else who's selling them, a few people have them brand new, sealed in the box, and of course, the people who are there waiting, kind of, I guess, in the spider web, you could say, waiting to, get the whales, as people would say with the lingo. Um, they're waiting, and there's some Mugler's Pure Tonka on there for, I think there was one for 180. So things like that, Mugler being sold out, and things being dried up. You might have fragrances in your collection you think are regular fragrances. Y'all probably are, some of you guys are probably sitting on a few expensive fragrances. And I had a friend, I don't think he really reviews fragrances anymore, but he had one of the prized Grail batches of Creeds Aventus, and he was telling me how he was thinking about maybe getting another bottle, and he hadn't looked at the prices, and I guess he hadn't paid attention to my channel and how expensive it was, and he was thinking about, just willy-nilly going and buying from somebody in a fragrance group, or just going on eBay, and it would be easy. Even if you want one of the Grail batches, it's not easy to find, and if you are lucky enough to find one of the prized batches, I know some people absolutely don't care about batches. I'm not trying to say that you should do this. I'm not gonna buy them. I'm not into it. But I was telling him, kind of joking around, it's like you won't be able to get one for, if you'd be super lucky to get one for 500, you're probably gonna pay closer upwards to $2,000 for one of the prized, highly desirable batches, the double Z, the O1 batches of Creed. And he didn't believe me at first, so he went to eBay, and then he was very unhappy for a couple days. But things like that do go crazy, do get crazy. Stephanie Deming says, it was the Angie by Rosie Jane vid on IG that drew me in. Not necessarily, but because of how descriptive you were. Well, I'm happy that you like that. I hope that the word gets out. I do like to showcase and find, of course, all new fragrances from different brands. And some of them are hits and some of them are misses. I thought, especially for the 65 odd dollars you can buy that bottle for, even though I think it's only a 50 ml. It's a solid value, and it's a solid fragrance for people who do like florals. And I had really low expectations. The bottle looks like one of those laboratory bottles. It is mostly synthetic, but it looks like, to me, it gives me the impression that it's going to smell highly synthetic. And it's actually fairly, does fairly well in the performance, and it actually smells pretty good quality. And I was happy to get the word out on that. So happy that you enjoyed that review. Happy that I helped a little bit. I know that there's a lot of ladies that perhaps could like that fragrance. And I know a lot of ladies buy a lot from, I don't think it's an exclusive to Sephora, but I think that that fragrance, maybe that's one of the easiest places to buy it. So I know a lot of people have like loyalty points, and they save up points. And sometimes ladies have a lot of makeup, or maybe they're tired of buying makeup, and maybe they want something different to buy, buy there, and maybe they just don't want an average, designer fragrance. I think that could be something that'd be refreshing. So, you know your stuff and speak very eloquently, and it's exactly what I was looking for in a reviewer. Well, I'm happy that you enjoy. I hope that I come off that way. I definitely was a little bit of a bookworm when I was little. I certainly do believe in, I can't even think of the right word right now. I think it's linguistics, or it's a word similar to that. I actually enjoyed really nerdily, or in that kind of way. Just loving the breakup of words. I used to research that. There's two parts to a lot of words. Sometimes there's three, and there's the first part that has a certain meaning, and the second part that has another meaning. And that kind of goes to the roots of what makes words have meaning and what words actually mean. And I don't know. Again, I don't know how connected YouTube is with all the social media. YouTube might be holding down my channel. I've spoken out against lots of different problems and things. I used to. I don't do it so much anymore. But there's people, and they're rewriting things in the Webster Dictionary, and which is, I'm sure y'all know, the most popular dictionary, and the one that almost everybody pays attention to. If your library has a dictionary, local library, it's probably Webster. If or in your library at your local high school, it's probably a Webster. And they're redefining certain words and certain meanings, and it creates problems because whenever language. This is a fragrance channel, but I do want to mention this real quick. Language is a very funny thing. We can, as a people or as humanity, make anything mean anything. There's different languages, and words in their languages, even if it's a different language, they can have a phrase or a meaning, and it can mean completely different things. I think it was the Romans or the Greeks have like I forget if it's 4 or 5 or like 6 different words for love, and they break down all the different kinds of love. There's like love to a friend, love to somebody who's like above you, like an authority, a love to like children, love to a thing, love of self perhaps, and like romantic love. So and they have a different word for it, and they use it in that way. So, and I think it's fascinating. But whenever you change words, you got to make sure that all the synonyms, all the words that are similar, that there's no conflict. And again, this is a fragrance channel. I'm not going to get into the politics, but a lot of the reasons why they were doing these things were for politics. And when it's a really dangerous road once you start changing the meanings and the vocabulary. And of course, these things will be taught, through schools. And so certain words and how we phrase things, people will define these, have this affiliation and this, either favoritism towards a certain thing or group or people, and a distance or opposition towards certain things coming, through our language. And, it's fascinating to me, at least. So anyways, let me get back to the comments. I'm sorry I was on a little bit of a rant there. You know your stuff. Okay, I'm sticking around for the accent reasons. I'm happy that y'all enjoy my words. Got to jump off for dinner with the fam. Have a great day, Ben. We'll make sense. Have a beautiful evening. Enjoy that dinner. Hopefully it's something good. Hopefully you got some mashed potatoes. And I hope that things are doing very well for you. Definitely check out his channel, everybody. And Indecence. And and the Fragrance Life is here. I used to be Mr. Cheap Sense, I believe. Awesome channel. Love what you're doing. Let's see here. Middle Seam Imperial versus Light Blue Swing Lipari. Which one would you prefer for the summer? I don't know. If you put them side by side, it's going to sound terrible. It depends on if you're just letting me wear them or if you're going to give them to me. See, I'm getting nerdy. I can get very terribly nerdy. If you're giving them to me, I take the Millesime Imperial. Probably would wear it just for the heck of it because I only wore it like once or twice. But then I probably would sell it. But if it was just to wear, I enjoy Light Blue Swing Lipari much better, personally. And for the value, for the money, I like the Swing Lipari a lot better. The Millesime Imperial probably is going to come off more classy. It's not going to, but it can come off as a little bit old. And some people have mentioned that. And they get ladies to smell these fragrances, do like an interview kind of thing. And that fragrance, depending on your skin chemistry, perhaps can come off smelling as like potpourri or perhaps a little bit, the stereotypical kind of old kind of smell. So light blue is much more modern. It smells much more like an aquatic. It's much trendier. It's very salty though, and there's a lot of ambergris to it. But I think the ambergris is done tastefully. A lot of synthetic ambergris, like in Sauvage EDT especially, smells to me like body odor. And sometimes fragrances don't do it right, but I like the Swimming Lipari. If you're familiar with Versace Pour Homme, you might compare it to Versace Pour Homme. Perhaps just a little bit, so with some similarity. So if you like Versace Pour Homme, and imagine having something like less neroli, more salty, and a lot of ambergris packed, ambroxan packed into it, you might really like that Swimming Lipari. So, Rich Mitch says it's worth every penny of $90. Yes, absolutely. $90. I might have to go get it then. I've seen it for that before. I've been tempted. What are you wearing with Sasha? Happy to see you, Sasha. Hi, Benjamin. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic. And I'm sure that y'all all know Sasha. She's a new gem in the fragrance community, and her channel is doing very, very well. She's an absolutely lovely lady. Definitely check out her channel if you haven't had the chance. I do like enjoy watching your content, Sasha, and you always have a smile on your face, which is always absolutely lovely. Hello, Stephanie. Yes, Indecents. Who can't fix? Oh, I know. I see your name. I bought 2 of Enrico GI items because of your review. Well, did you like them? I really do like them. I have one that I haven't talked about. I actually have another one, and I'm going to be saving this to review that fragrance and to really talk about it towards the fall and maybe the winter, because I think it really suits that weather a lot better. But Enrico GI is a brand that must have went out of business, and there's almost nothing you can find about that brand online. But if you go to FragranceNet, they have 4 fragrances on there. I haven't. I have the Privé, it's like the Absoluta or Absoluto or something like that, and I have maybe it's Absol. I might be mixing things up, but I think there's a Privé. Anyways, I have 3 of them, but I don't have the one that's more floral. Anyways, they're about $30 or cheaper. If you use the full 35% off, I think you can get some of them right at about $20, and they're actually pretty darn good quality. And a lot of them, you might think they're kind of scary for oud, but they actually have very little oud and pretty darn wearable for oud fragrances. So fantastic fragrances, value for money wise. I bought 2. Okay. What's up, Ben? Glad to see you're doing well. Yes, happy to see you too. I'm doing fairly well. I'm sticking together, holding together, and trying to make my dreams come true. I'm sure you are as well. What new have you gotten into? Any new fragrances, and how's life been going for you, my friend? I always want to call you Mr. Cheap Sense, but you changed your name on me. So the fragrant life, it is. You can't says the Enrico GI items are terrific. Thank you for reviewing and suggesting them. I'm happy that I was able to get the word out on Enrico GI. Fantastic fragrances. They have good longevity as well. They're real hidden gems, and sometimes there are real hidden gems out there that for some reason people really don't know about. I don't know if y'all be interested in a review, but I was tempted. Some fellow fragrance reviewers probably going to do it because I mentioned it. They're going to spoil all the fun. Maybe I should just buy it for the heck of it. But I'm not a collector, so I don't want to have to give it away to somebody. But I found on I think it was FragranceNet, but there's a fragrance called Vespa, and supposedly when it released, at least they have it marked that it retailed originally for $100. And there's a lot of people, or at least a few people on Fragrantica, who are actually saying that even though it's super, super cheap, that it actually doesn't smell cheap. So if you're on a budget, if you actually have almost no money in your wallet, and you want to smell good, find and Google Vespa fragrance, and or go to Fragrantica. I think you might be able to just search Vespa. It's about $7. $7, and it supposedly smells a lot better than it should. I haven't smelled it. I'm not promising you it smells great. It might be as good as an Adidas fragrance. I don't know, but Adidas you can get, I don't know, those for $10 or $15. I don't know if the quality is any good, but I just thought it was funny that it was a $6.99 fragrance, and originally, it said that its original retail price was $100. So that's a huge difference. And Enrico GIs are pretty much that way. If you can get one for close to $20, those originally were, must have been 80, at least, or maybe $100 fragrances. Enrico GIs are pretty solid. So, oh, you're so nice. Well, I mean it, Sasha. You're a wonderful lady. It really comes through. The Fragrant Life says, I've jumped into the world of niche. I've been sampling a lot of different things. Yes, and it's a lot of fun. I'm happy that you decided to jump in a little bit. I know things are expensive, and I definitely focus on value on my channel. There's a lot of things that I would like to have, things that I think that do smell nice, but for the value, for how much things actually cost, there's a lot of things that I don't think I'd fork out the money unless I found the right price. I'd be a little bit of a cheapskate, like Kuba knows. And I definitely agree with you there. And I remember you kind of being annoyed at niche because it was so expensive, and I understand. I feel you there. Niche, a lot of the times, is probably more expensive than it should be. But again, they're trying to market a lot of the times to the people who have perhaps more money than they can deal with, or more money than maybe they need. And willing to throw it out there and on a luxury item. And some people like the exclusivity. Some people like knowing that they bought a Clive Christian, a fragrance Dubois, or something that's terribly expensive. And some people enjoy knowing that not everybody's going to have it. Not everybody can attain it so easily. That's, I guess, a part of having something prestigious or rare, or, kind of having that, I guess, that pride of ownership. Like, people who have a Rolex watch. I don't have a Rolex watch. I doubt that I'll ever have one, but it means something. And that's one reason why the brand means something, is because it's expensive. So, but you can get terrific quality and you can smell great. That's the wonderful thing. You don't have to spend so much money. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg. You don't have to sell your kidney to smell great. You really don't have to. And I hope that niche is all fun, and it's interesting, and it's a good journey. And I certainly encourage people who are ready to, maybe start to dabble. But, there's a lot of people who just want to smell good. And, some people get the impression, or maybe the feeling, or maybe people tell them that the only good fragrances are niche fragrances. And y'all know that that's not true. You can smell absolutely beautiful. And you're probably going to smell better to the average person. You're probably going to get more compliments, definitely, on a designer fragrance. So I'm sick of a lot of the designer stuff. All of it smells the same and has a lot of the same DNA. I'm still not buying full niche presentations, but samples of niche. I definitely feel you there. There are some interesting designers, but you really have to seek them out, and they're not all that common. One of the best ones, and the supply's really drying up, and it's getting hard to get, but was Valentino Noir Absolute. And that was one of the best niche-like and high-quality ones. Givenchy Pie Extreme is also drying up. And I like certain flankers that really have something interesting about them, and if they smell great, I really tend to like them. I like the Swumi La Paris, but from the D&G Light Blue line. So there's a few of them out there, but I feel you. A lot of them are very trendy. A lot of the fragrances copycat each other. A lot of fragrances follow the trends, the trendsetters. Mugler was a trendsetter for a while. Not a lot of them were, but it seems like it's just going to be Chanel or Dior. They're going to take a risk and influence everybody. So I think Sauvage is still extremely popular. I think that the blue trend is going to be here for another 5 years, or maybe even 10 years, because the blue trend is very popular. A lot of people like to speculate. Sasha says you have to go. Well, got to run. Have a good evening. Well, have a beautiful evening. I hope that you enjoy it, relax, have some fun, have some wonderful food, and all that good stuff. So thank you for stopping by, Sasha. Wonderful lady. So I think that it's really interesting that, designer fragrance-wise, that you can find really, really good deals. And are some of those flankers, again, that really are worth seeking out. But you kind of have to filter through a lot of stuff. You have to spend a lot of time and a lot of effort. And as y'all know, like with Mont Blanc Explorer, it smells like Creed. It smells like Creed Aventus, and it's supposed to be kind of a copycat. So even designer fragrances are essentially being inspired fragrances, or some people might want to call them clones. So there's a lot of that funny business. So even some of the designer fragrances are outright very, very similar to a lot of other popular fragrances. So a lot of them do really copy each other, and it can get quite annoying. But I don't know. Every once in a while, there's a new flanker. There's an intense version, an absolute version, a concentrate version, or something like that, and I get excited. And especially if it's from a brand that's more. Sometimes they produce some more affordable options. I have high hopes for maybe Hermes really coming into the designer game. Maybe Hermes, and I think Cartier also has great potential. I love Cartier, and if Lalique wants to do it, the more the merrier. Lalique, please come into the game and show these designer cats how it's done. So I think these brands can do it, make fairly affordable designers, even if they charge a little bit more, but a full-size bottle. And the thing is, they could sell a lot of fragrance lovers and enthusiasts like us. They could sell a bottle of 50 ml, half the size, and get away with selling it to us for maybe that $80 that a lot of people are familiar with. And Lalique or Cartier or Hermes could come out with maybe some more mass appealing fragrances with still that luxurious, classy feeling that they do so well with their signature DNAs. And I would love to see it. I would love to see them come in and really change up the game and really have some more classy fragrances. But again, the people got to be willing to invest in those fragrances and love those fragrances. Roadster is drying up. I'm sure I've told you all that. The original Roadster, pretty much a classic, and I don't think they're going to produce any more of it. The supply's drying up, and it's going to get expensive, or fairly expensive. There is a cult following for that fragrance. Roadster Sport, I don't know how available or how this available or not available it is. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued as well. I mentioned that I don't know how much of an effect I had, but I bought my bottle, and I mentioned that it's still pretty good. You know, there's some fragrance reviewers who have said it's not that exciting to them, and maybe they were expecting something more. But for a $30 designer fragrance for $30, come on, guys, it's a pretty darn good fragrance. You know, more of a citrus fragrance for a gentleman. That's different. It's different from a regular citrus on the market, and it suits a gentleman very, very well. And for 30 or $35, it's a solid fragrance. I don't know, but that one is kind of sold out right now as well. So let me get to the comments. Sorry, I get all my little tangents in my mind and I get rolling. So Ultra Supra says, "Hey Ben, how's it hanging today? It's great to see you again. I got a question. Do you happen to know the real monetary values of juice on the fragrances, the highest or the lowest, or just the average?" I guess I do an average. I don't know the prices of everything in my head. I am not a blue book, if y'all know what I mean by that, or a purple book of every fragrance and the value of everything. But I do try to keep up to date as much as I can, and I have been surprised, you know, from time to time. With my Acqua di Gio Essenza, I did a review, and I told y'all that the supply was drying up, and I didn't know how much of that fragrance was out there, and the price was going to go up. It was going to get pretty darn expensive. It had a cult following. It's one of the most popular fragrances ever made. But I mean, it is a flanker, but it's still it was the second flanker, and it didn't do extremely well, but it did fairly well. And I told y'all the price was going to get crazy. And it did, but I hadn't kept an eye on it. And about 5 months after I did that video, true enough, you know, it happened. And overnight, I went on eBay and I saw that my fragrance had almost tripled in price of what I had paid for it. And I sold mine for undervalue. I undersold my fragrance, which I shouldn't have. If I would have held on to it and actually asked what it was worth, you know, today I sold it. It was a big 6.7 ounce bottle that wasn't used heavily. There was still at least 80%. I sold mine for, I forget, something like 140 or something, but I probably could have, you know, held on to it. Probably sold it for 250 if I was a greedy. There's a, you know, 3-letter word that some people would like to say, but you know, I didn't want to do that, but I certainly could have. So hopefully the value of juice is at least higher than that of the packaging. Yeah. Hopefully the value of the juice, for sure, you know. It sometimes you almost wonder because they put a lot of effort into the presentation, yeah. Some people would actually it's funny, everybody's different. You know, some people really dislike presentations. They'd rather you put all the money into the juice. And some people, you know, almost if they can connect emotionally with a story, with the packaging, if it's very, very beautiful, they can almost take something that's, you know, doesn't smell as good, or maybe something perhaps that smells more synthetic. I do like to have some presentation. I don't have to have the most beautiful presentation. It doesn't have to be the highest grade crystal or an extravagant presentation. But I don't. Some people feel. I mean, they're comfortable with having every fragrance as just one of those little squares. You know, something like maybe Alexandria or Dua or some other brand would use, almost for like decanting, like a 30 ml size. And that's fine and dandy if they want to do that. But I would like something that helps me connect to the fragrance, something that I feel is a little bit more luxurious. If I buy a luxury item, and believe it or not, a lot of designer fragrances, even if it's an $80 fragrance, that is a luxury item. A lot of people out there have to save a lot of money, and just to afford, you know, not everybody feels comfortable or maybe has access to a gray market or wants to do something online through FragranceNet or Fragrance by CA or whatever it might be. So forking out the $80 is, they might only buy a couple fragrances in their whole life, and maybe they don't wear a lot of fragrances. They only wear that fragrance for like weddings and graduations and family reunions and those kind, maybe a fancy party for Christmas or something like that. So, or whatever religious holidays or whatever y'all are into. So, a lot of people are that way. So it's I think we definitely have to keep in mind, and I think it's good to keep that a perspective, because I've definitely seen myself. I had to be careful, and I think that sometimes we lose perspective from the average fragrance person on the street. And that's one reason I like, sometimes when people go on the street, interview people. And Street Sense, he was the one who started it all, at least as far as I know. And, Al over there. And interviewing people on the streets. And, really seeing what, think about when you first got into fragrance. Think about how when you first started getting into fragrances, your opinions and your feelings. A lot of people around here think cologne is for men and perfume is for women. They don't know that cologne and perfume. Well, perfume, I guess, is just a category. I guess it's almost the same as fragrance in a way. But to a lot of people around here, perfume is for women, and cologne is for men. So that's why a lot of people look for colognes or search for colognes, for men. And for a lot of time, cologne concentration aftershaves, and sometimes they were sprayable as well. That's what men wore. So it can't, to a lot of Western people, cologne became synonymous, with men, and parfum concentrations became synonymous for women. But that's not really the case. And of course, things are changing that way. And I think that we're helping people become more educated. And a lot of sellers back in the day would kind of avoid putting EDT. They would even put like Eau de Cologne Intense or Eau de Cologne Super. They would kind of sometimes avoid the EDT because, Eau de Toilette, because that sounds, ridiculous. I've heard a lot of people joke about that. They think that sounds funny. So, let's see here. Guess some people use fragrance bottles for decorative purposes. Yeah, some people do. And I also have seen people who will buy almost empty bottles just to keep them in the house because they like them as decorations, as that luxurious. I don't keep my bottles. I really don't run through fragrances very often, but I don't keep them around. I think some of them could be kind of fun, maybe, to have, a flower in or as a Voss. Again, I'm not crazy about Bond number 9, but, imagine if you took the cap and the internals and everything out of a Bond number 9, and you could have like a star up there and put some flowers in it and have like a little vase that was like a Bond number 9. I mean, hey, that some people like doing that kind of stuff, so that can work. Let's see. Joseph says, "Man, my girlfriend woke up in the morning, and I was talking nasty to her. I really suppose she was really upset. Weird thing is, oh, were you being mean, or were you just being all nasty? I don't know, doing that dirty talk. I don't know, but that's kind of funny. Maybe you speak in your sleep. I don't know." Sleep is funny. It's, people, sometimes have dreams, and then they, I've heard of girlfriends getting mad about their, dreaming that their partner cheated or something like that. So it's, that's funny. If it wasn't intentional, I don't know what else you can do. She probably thinks internally that you don't like her very much or something. So, Joseph, can I cure sleep disorders with aromatherapy? I don't know if you can, but I know that lavender is a common use for peaceful sleep. And if you buy some pure essential lavender oil, or maybe you could buy the what's it called? I can't think of what it is. It's the something like esterol. Anyways, it's when you actually make almost anything like lavender essential oil. There's the pure oil, and it's hydrosol. It came to be. It took a couple seconds. Hydrosol. So after you collect the oil, there's still a lot of water that has some, concentration of, the essential oils in it. It's not pure. Some people will just add that back to the batch and attempt to make that into the oil, but some people will actually take that off and put it in like a mist spray or like a big spray bottle. You can get a lot of it for fairly cheap. It doesn't last very long, and it doesn't have as much of the lavender or whatever flower or essential oil in it as the pure oil does. But a lot of people really like it because it's really light and it's easy going, and some people find it a lot more soothing. So maybe you could find a high grade, natural hydrosol of lavender and use it as like a room spray, and maybe that'll help you a little bit. So I don't know, maybe you need to do some trust exercises, or maybe do something to bond with each other. Do something that y'all both enjoy doing. I don't know. I don't know what that might be. Maybe it's something as simple as cooking with each other. I'm not sure. I never thought I would come to be like relationship or marriage advice on my fragrance channel, but I'm happy to help a little bit. So. Fragrance X says, hello, Mr. Ben. Hey, Fragrance X, Professor X, happy to see you. How's it going? How's the fragrance life? Have you been getting yourself into anything new? Or is there any fragrance that you've truly been loving? Let me know, my friend. Let me know. Anyways, fragrance-wise, I'm gonna put some of those videos out. It might be a week or so, but I'll share y'all some new hauls. I do have a bunch of tag videos I need to catch up on. And, there's a lot of new things. Maybe I need to do something new and creative on my channel. I don't know. I'm not going to switch things up a lot. I probably should, but I feel like I got to be true to myself and true to what I want to do on my channel. And honestly, I feel comfortable, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe somebody was joking and said I should spin on my videos. There's somebody that copied Jeremy and did some spinning for a while, and people supposedly liked it. I don't get it. Everybody's different, but I don't care to see a grown man try to spin and do antics. I don't dress up in a suit. Maybe I should, because I'm sharing luxury items. But if you're in a suit and you're spinning around, I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me, but we're all different people. Certainly are different people. So, lol, I get the lavender hydrosol. Okay, that might work for you. I know that everybody seems to buy everything on Amazon, and they do have it. I would make sure that you definitely buy from a really good brand. Just like with any essential oil, Amazon is taking more steps to make sure that, people aren't being cheated, but especially with dietary supplements and with essential oil, there's a lot of scam companies out there, and they'll give you diluted products and mixed products, and where they cheapen out on you on the quality. And and some of them are highly rated. Some of these brands, if you buy something for them and to give them a really positive review, they'll give you a free bottle. Or people get into these promotion programs and get things for free for a positive review. There's all kinds of funny stuff out there. So, Ben, between Alexandria, Hawaii Volcano, and Intense, you prefer the regular one, right? Yes, I do, Ultra Super. I like the regular one a lot better. And I'm sorry, I would misspoke for a while. I for the longest time I was saying Hawaii Volcano Intense, but my decant. It wasn't my fault. Maybe somebody would argue it is my fault, but it must have been mislabeled, because then I got another. I bought myself a second decant. I think I forget what they come in, like a 10 mil or something, from Alexandria, and it was very different. And I think that maybe they had mislabeled one of them and put, it was the intense version when it was the regular version. The intense version is much fresher. It has a lot more like a lime off the top, and it comes off a lot more citrusy, but it doesn't last very long at all on me. And I can see why, there were some complaints about longevity. The regular version is much more sweet. It's a little bit more rich. It's what I really prefer. I do like citrus. I do enjoy citrus. But if I had the choice between something longer lasting and sweeter, and something that had a little bit more richness with the coconut, I probably would prefer, the more rich, more sweet, more boozy fragrance. And then I could just maybe layer a citrus on top of it, or do whatever I wanted to do. That's how I personally would go about it. So, see. But that, yeah, I like the regular Hawaii Volcano. It's pretty solid. And if you know, some people are sticklers for quality. If you're not too picky, Tommy Bahama, St. Bart's is a pretty good tropical, fun in the sun, vacation feeling fragrance as well. So, Stephanie Deming says, "Don't forget the clap before the spin." Don't. I know you're just teasing me, but no, I couldn't do that. I that's not me. And I don't see. I don't understand it. I get, wearing a suit makes you look, gives you that kind of social, kind of that social. You're throwing off social cues and makes you look prestigious and all those kinds of things. But to me, if you're acting kind of silly while you're wearing a suit, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. But everybody's different, so I'm not gonna do jumping jacks or skits or stuff. Uh, Ultra Super says, I love St. Kitts. St. Kitts is really solid. It actually surprised me. It's really, really good. Again, I don't know if it's discontinued or not, but it's really difficult to find the actual individual bottles. I had to get my bottle from a gift set, and it still only cost 30 or 35 bucks. So it still was a pretty darn good deal. I think that, I forget, it was like some shampoo, and I forget what the other one was. Maybe it was an aftershave or something. And then you get, the full-size fragrance. So, you can sometimes find those. And when I mentioned that last time, it sold out when I did my review. So St. Kitts is pretty solid too. It has starfruit. It's if you really, really like a Ventus, and people out there, if you really like a Ventus, but you want something like different, but something that kind of, I don't know, itches that same itch or fits the same need, St. Kitts can kind of do that for you with being a little bit more unique. So, yeah, I like St. Kitts, and it actually has a little bit better performance, on me at least, than a lot of the other Tommy Bahamas. So, it performs better. So that's always a good thing. St. Bart's is worth atomizing. Yeah, St. Bart's is solid. That's for sure. It's really good for the money. They're still available, but the prices are creeping up. Of St. Kitts, is the price creeping up? Is it discontinued? I'm suspecting it is. I mentioned that last time, and it's getting hard to get. I do suspect that St. Kitts is discontinued. And it's a shame, because I think it was maybe the longest lasting one of the bunch, and it was a little bit more different. I mean, St. Bart's is kind of, it does do its own thing, but it kind of smells like Virgin Island water. Very Cool is a good fragrance, but I mean, you could argue that it's not, I don't know, not overtly unique. Both Bart's and Kitts. Oh, they both are, you think? I don't know. If they do discontinue St. Bart's, I don't think St. Kitts sold as well as Bart's, but I'm really not sure. But I don't know why they would discontinue Bart's. Maybe it's too expensive to produce. I don't know. But I think Tommy Bahama St. Bart's was a big, big seller for them. I don't know why they would do that. It's to me, it's, if they don't have St. Bart's, I mean, what do you have? That's kind of what their flagship fragrance. A lot of people like the regular Tommy Bahama Pour Homme. I personally am not crazy about it. I had a vintage bottle. Y'all saw that. I showcased it and reviewed it, but I got that as a gift. And the person who gifted me knew and expected. It was my brother, actually, and he actually wanted me to sell it. He had it for a while, and yeah, I definitely let somebody else have that out there in the world who wanted it a lot more than I did. It's not a bad fragrance. It's and the new reformulation of it, it doesn't smell as good as it used to. So, anyways, yeah, I hope that's not the case. It'll make the more affordable fragrance world suffer a little bit. As far as summer fragrances goes, they're kind of some of the best of the best. I don't know of a lot of other good summer fragrances. There's not a lot of them. There's the 1981 Indigo by Guess. I talked about that one for summer fragrance. That one's great. It's for the money. It's more of just a purely like a slightly blue coconut fragrance. Very mass appealing. It kind of somewhat reminds me of Ultime by YSL, which some people are absolutely crazy about Ultime. It really works for some people. It doesn't work. I'm not crazy for it, but have you tried Kerosene Summer of '82? Beautiful citrus frag. I haven't tried that one. The kerosenes I tried didn't do it for me, and I heard so many fragrance reviewers speak kind of negatively over time about them that I really haven't gone back to try any of more. Oh, not kerosene. I'm sorry, you're getting me mixed up with not it's not kerosene. It's that brand that has the head on it. Not kerosene. I mixed it up. I'm very sorry. Kerosene's a solid niche house. I mix it. You know the fragrances that have like that look like the fist, and I'm trying to remember the brand. Is that it's not kerosene? It's and the brands. Some of them have like y'all know what I'm talking about. It's one's called like Just the Brave or something. I can't. My mind is going to blank right now. But no, I haven't tried that one. I really want to try Blackmail from Kerosene. Diesel, that's the one. Diesel. That's the one I got in my head. I haven't gone back to Diesel. I tried Fuel for Life, and I didn't like Fuel for Life. And I've seen a bunch of the flankers, and I've been maybe tempted to try a few. I don't like the fist bottles. I think they're corny. They're not as corny as the Jean Paul Gaultier. I think Jean Paul Gaultier's bottles are a tiny bit corny, but I don't know. Anyways, Kerosene's a solid brand. I do need to try that one. Blackmail looks really good. A lot of I remember some fragrance reviewers speaking very highly about how interesting and creative Copper Skies was. I don't know if that one's discontinued or not from Kerosene. And I remember that I don't remember the name of it, but I think there was a coffee one. I think there was one of them that had some coffee. So definitely a solid fragrances. Let me see here. Prices usually tend to drop immediately after discontinuation when they begin to explode when the stock dries up. Especially, you're exactly right. That's the trend, especially with us as fragrance influencers being a part of that. We tend to figure out and find a really good deal. We find a really good price, and we talk really highly about it. And so a lot of the times it's right after the fragrance is being liquidated or discontinued. And after that happens, the demand skyrockets, but the supply's gone. And when you know, almost overnight, if that supply dries up, then the price is going to shot up, and then everybody's going to keep talking about that fragrance. Y'all know how hype works. Maybe another couple fragrance reviewers ended up buying that fragrance, and then they keep talking about that fragrance. So that's how it works out, guys. Yep, and then the prices go absolutely through the roof. Thoughts on Alexandria Fructis Virginis? I really like Lost Cherry, but it didn't last on me, and I don't want to drop that kind of cash on a low performer. I haven't tried that one. I'm sure it's a solid fragrance. There's a lot of solid Lost Cherry fragrances out there. I don't remember the name of it, but there's one from Fragranza. You might want to check that one out. I'm not sure if it's that great. I haven't tried it yet, but I have tried the Dark Cherry and Amber from Banana Republic. I'll be getting y'all a review of that. I feel like it's more of a fall-winter fragrance, but you might just enjoy it. I do feel like there is it doesn't have a lot of it, but it does have a tiny bit of that mole vibe, so that makes it more mass appealing. And some people might really like that because it makes it a lot more of a compliment getter. But Dark Cherry and Amber, you know, if you're really into niche, of course, it's another brand, just like Banana Republic. If you're into niche, or if you're really picky, you might not do it. But it's a solid fragrance. You might like that Dark Cherry and Amber from Banana Republic there, Stephanie. I do think it's a solid pickup. You know, if you can find it, even if you pay the full price, it's solid, but you can get it for about $30 odd. So, but I feel you. I do like performance with fragrances. Lost Cherry, even though I guess cherry is something more interesting, not a lot of fragrances have done that. I tested it, yeah, and I only got like 4 hours. I've heard some people say they get less than 4 hours, but 4 hours for a private line fragrance, and the full retail price is through the roof. I don't know. I really like performance. I don't have to have a beast mode, but I want 6 hours at least. I like most of my fragrances to feel like parfums, and give me more of 8 hours if I can get 8 hours out of it. So, anyways, I've seen both at Tommy Bahamas recently at Marshalls and TJ Maxx. Both were $19.99. That's fantastic. My TJ Maxx and Ross are absolutely terrible. I never see anything halfway decent there. But more power to you. Maybe you need to pick up the St. Kitts, but I don't know if the St. Bart's is discontinued, but I wouldn't be amazed if the St. Kitts is, and there's a lot of demand for it, so I don't know if you want to try to flip things or not, or maybe, I don't know if you love the fragrance, but you might want to pick up the St. Kitts. Diesel, yeah, that was it. Wheel Wise Silver is a nice one you can get at a rack store. Um, yeah, that I'm sure it's good. I haven't tried it. I got Blackmail. It's a very smoky with berries. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people speak really highly of it. I would like to try it. I'm gonna get a introduction to the house out for y'all. I recently tried a new house, and I usually don't like anything that has a dark berry vibe. I'm funny. I have a hard time with dark berry vibes, even though I'm a huge fan of blackberry jam, and I love fresh blueberries. It's one of my favorite things in the world. But I recently tried a fragrance called Treachery. I don't want to ruin the review for the fall and the winter. To me, it truly is probably more of even a winter fragrance. It's very potent. But there's a fragrance out there called Treachery. And if you're a niche fragrance lover, if that's what you're into, definitely check out this house. I forget if they're 50 mils or 30, but their prices aren't ridiculous. It's about $150, which does put them squarely into kind of more of the high-end niche. But again, it's smaller, it's bite-sized, and by golly, it's a fascinating quality and potent little fragrance. And it's starting to grow on me, guys. I might have to get myself a bottle of Treachery one of these days. It's really, really good. I can't even remember the full name of the house, but it's a whole new house. Nobody's been really reviewing or talking about it. So Blackmail is more of a smoky than fruity coffee. The one is called Fallow. It smells like Starbucks shop. Well, my friend, I might have to get Fallow. I really like coffee and fragrances. I'm always tempted to try the next fragrance and maybe try to find the next best thing. But I really like Boissimo. I really like Boissimo by how do you say it? Solani Hilde. Fantastic lady. Company straight out of Italy. It smells like an Italian bistro. Boissimo is my favorite probably coffee fragrance I've ever smelled. I really do like Montal's Ristretto Cafe. It's kind of like the coffee fragrance everybody wanted that they didn't get when they tried Intense Cafe. I'm sure that y'all know, but Intense Cafe is pretty much more of a rose fragrance more than anything. It's more of rose with some coffee. This one is Ristretto Cafe is definitely more of the coffee, but it's still smooth. It's still wearable. It still comes off as more of creamy. But Boissimo has almost that pastry feel. It feels like you smell fresh baked goods and fresh bread, and it almost has like a flaky and butteriness to it. And Boissimo is gorgeous, y'all. If y'all like coffee, gotta try it. But I definitely will get my nose on Fallow. I really like Fallow. My wife just got me a coffee break from Maison Margiela. It's very nice. I was tempted to blind buy that one. I actually let y'all know about that one on Fragrance by CA, and they were having a special sale. And it's actually not easy to find Maison Margiela fragrances on sale like that. And they had all of them, including the coffee break, for I think $92, 92 US dollars, which was a pretty good deal. I mean, it wasn't a huge discount, but you never see them on sale anyways. So I was tempted to blind buy it, but I ended up not doing it because I already know that I want that Boissimo so much. But I probably should have bought it. I probably would like it. That coffee break. You're making me jealous there, Gnarly. I definitely want to get my nose on it. I haven't even tried it yet. But I got to get my nose on it. I like Maison Margiela. I like what's it called, Whispers in the Library and Across Sands. I'm not sure which one I'll buy. I probably maybe one day in the future whenever I have enough money, I might buy one of those. Might be Across Sands. I'm not sure, but I would like to have a fragrance from every big major brand, at least one. I guess I'm a collector in that way. Some people want to buy every fragrance, but again, I've said it before, but I really respect Amouage and even Nichane, and I really like their brands and I like what they're doing. But like I say, wear what you love, buy what you love. I don't love every single one of their fragrance. We all have different preferences. So There's only 3 or maybe 4 fragrances at this point from Amouage that I'd like to own. So Jubilation, I really want Miss, I think I want Portrayal, and there's another one that recently came out as well. The sandalwood one, maybe that's Portrayal, but there's a violet one. I keep getting the sandalwood and the sandalwood and the violet one mixed up. So Nordstrom has a travel of coffee break for 30. It's true. Yeah, you can get the decants. I think they're like 8 mils or something. You can get them bite size. That's true. But y'all know me. Even though I shouldn't get the full size bottle, I tend to want it, especially when I'm only going to buy possibly one fragrance from the brand. I'm funny that way. I would like to have the bottle. It's not very long lasting, 3 to 4 hours, 1 hour projection. Well, that's sad, but at least it smells good. Well, maybe it's good I didn't buy it because again, I like for my fragrances to feel really rich. I almost prefer my fragrances to have not necessarily be always gourmand, like being sweet, but I almost always prefer them to have some heaviness and some depth and some weight to them. But they don't have to always be dark or overly intense or anything. So go big or go home. That's the way I feel about it. Especially if I'm going to find maybe one fragrance that I really like from that brand. I would like to, have an actual bottle. Especially, again, presentation isn't everything. But for example, with Penhaligons, I'm not sure which one I think I'm gonna love, but I have an inclination that I'm gonna really like Roaring Radcliffe or Terrible Teddy. And with how good those bottles look with the presentation, I definitely want to be able one day to have that bottle in my collection because I think it looks awesome. Either one would be great. So we'll have to see which one I actually go for. So I feel like we've kind of gotten to a slower point. Do y'all have anything else to ask or suggest or any questions? We're kind of slowing down here. It is starting to get dark, and I don't want to be out here in the dark again. Y'all know how it was last time. Y'all speaking to the man in the dark, and I don't want to do that again. But it is always fun to speak or have a wonderful fragrance discussion. I think it's gone really well. Hopefully y'all learned a few things, had a fun discussion, got to, share maybe your scent of the day or whatever you wanted to share, things that have been on your mind. That's what these are always about. If you hear any news, if you find anything new or fascinating, if maybe there's some deals that I need to be aware of, or maybe there's deals like you'd like to share with other people. I was on a channel one time. His name is like Roz Al. I can never remember his name. He's really into music, but his channel, I was in a live, and there was a guy who on there, and there was somebody, he told everybody about this guy on eBay. Don't know how he did it, don't know why he did it, but he was selling like, I forget, they were like big decants. They were like 10 mil decants with the actual metal, spray case. It came with the actual metal and I forget what it was, the full size decants they come with. And normally if you bought that in a store, that would be, at least a $30 item, probably a $40, $50 item. But he was giving free shipping and selling them for, I forget what it was, $7.99 or $8.99 a piece. I should have bought every single one of them, but I told myself not to be greedy, and I didn't want to try to flip them, but I probably should have, but I only bought myself one. I know a couple people who bought 3, and Roger, that's the one. But it was an amazing deal. I got something that was retail price of $50, and you don't find it, but it was Iris Nazarene, which was a very powdery iris fragrance that definitely, in my opinion, is more for the ladies. But it was fun to experience because it's probably the highest quality iris fragrance I've probably ever tried. And again, it was Iris Nazarene, and I can never say the name of that brand correctly. So, anyways, have a nice night, Benjamin. Yes, Roger, that's the one. Well, have a great night, everybody. Be safe, be well. I hope that y'all had some fun. I certainly hope that I didn't offend anybody. I don't want to offend anybody. I see that people go from the live from time to time, and I know that people get busy. I know that you're probably spending time with friends and family and all that, but I hope that you had a good time, got to chat a little bit about fragrance, maybe got, the fragrance, the fragrance vibes, you got them out of your system, so maybe you can be more normal around your family. So have a good one, everybody. I definitely enjoy the chat, the friendship, and hope that you had some fun. learn something new. And we'll be back at it again next week, chatting about fragrances. Again, I put out a video every day. Let me know if I need to go to 3 videos a week. Let me know if I'm annoying y'all or if I'm just doing too much. But there are so many fragrances out there. I can't even keep up with all the samples I have. I can't even keep up with all the beautiful things out there, all the new fragrance releases and everything I want to review. And I'm putting out tons of content out there. So let me know, and definitely, be in the comment section, say hello, and I'll respond. I always get back to your comments, and I always love seeing y'all in the comment section. So I'll see everybody. Have a beautiful day. Be safe, be well, enjoy life, and definitely let me know your next fragrance you fall in love with or your next purchase. I'm always looking forward to hearing those fragrances. So have a beautiful weekend, everybody. I'll see you next time. Wear what you love. Be happy, be well, rock what you got. I mean, you don't have to feel like you have to buy a new fragrance. Enjoy what you got if that's what you want to do. I'll see you next time, everybody. Peace out and bye. I'll see you next time.